Today, we're going to talk about a really pivotal moment for one of the world's most trusted databases. We're looking at PostgreSQL. This was the release that didn't just add a few new features. Oh no, it completely redefined what a relational database could be in the age of AI. You know this quote right here? It just hits the nail on the head. The release of PostgreSQL wasn't just some technical update. It was a huge strategic shift. It was proof that how you handle your data is absolutely central to how you innovate. All right, here's the game plan for our breakdown today. We're going to start by setting the stage with the new AI frontier. Then, we'll get into Postgres's brilliant answer to it, the vector upgrade. We'll also cover the other awesome improvements to the core, dig into why this release was such a game changer, and finally, look ahead at what it all means for the future.
Okay, so let's set the scene, right? Picture it. The year is 2023. There's this massive new tech wave building, and it's bringing a completely different kind of challenge to the table.
So you got to understand, by this point, PostgreSQL was, well, it was a titan, an absolute giant. It had totally proven itself in the cloud, its replication was rock solid, and it was already great at handling all sorts of mixed data types. It was the definition of a mature, super reliable database. But the world was about to ask for something completely new. And that new demand? It was all driven by AI. At the heart of it was this idea, semantic search. Now, this isn't your grandpa's keyword search. This is about understanding the intent, the meaning, the vibe of what you're asking. It's a fundamentally different problem than what databases were originally built for.
And this comparison just makes it so clear. Keyword search? It's totally literal. You type blue car, you get results with blue car. Simple. But semantic search, that's a whole other level. It gets that a car the color of the sky is basically the same idea. And that means the database has to think in concepts, not just characters on a screen.
So, faced with this massive new challenge, what did the Postgres community do? Well, they did what they do best. They evolved. They built this elegant, powerful answer to what AI needed. The solution came in the form of an extension called a PG vector, and it was fully embraced in version 16. And let me tell you, this was not some minor tweak. This was a purpose-built tool designed from the ground up to get PostgreSQL ready for the new world of AI and machine learning. And this is how it totally changed the game. First, you could now store these really complex numerical representations of your data. We call them vectors, right inside the database. Then, and this is the magic part, you could query them to find what's most similar, which is the engine behind semantic search. And finally, you could plug this whole thing directly into your AI models. It's a complete seamless workflow. And listen, this isn't some abstract techie concept. This is the stuff that powers the apps you use every single day. We're talking about recommendation systems that just know what you're like next, search bars that actually understand your questions, or even systems that can find pictures that just feel like another one. All of that is unlocked by vector search. But here's the thing. The story of version 16 isn't just about AI. A truly great release doesn't just add shiny new things. It strengthens the foundation. And man, did PostgreSQL deliver some major upgrades to its core engine. I mean, look at these core updates. They were huge. The SQL/JSON improvements made dealing with modern, messy data way more powerful. The parallel copy command gave this massive speed boost for loading tons of data. And the more granular permissions, that gave admins much tighter security control. For developers, every single one of these was a massive win.
Okay, so we've covered the what, we've seen the new features, but now for the really interesting part, the why. Why was this specific release such a big deal for the entire database world?
And this is the question that was on everyone's mind at the time, right? With all these shiny new specialized vector databases popping up, promising to do this one thing really well, why on earth would a developer stick with Postgres for AI workloads?
And the answer is just, it's brilliant. First, developers could build these cutting-edge AI apps in an environment they already knew and trusted. Second, it completely removed the massive headache of running a whole separate database system. No more data syncing nightmares, no more extra complexity, no more extra cost. And maybe most importantly, it was a huge statement that the old-school relational model wasn't dead, not by a long shot. It could adapt and thrive.
So you see, it all boils down to this. PostgreSQL 16 wasn't just about bolting on a trendy new feature. It was a strategic move to make sure it would stay relevant for the next decade of technology, to prove it could be the foundation for whatever came next.
And that brings us to the future and how this release really changed what a database even is. It wasn't just an update, it was a redefinition of its role in the tech world.
You know, before this, you probably thought of Postgres as your super reliable transactional workhorse, your system of record. But after version 16, it earned a brand new title, a core part of the modern AI stack. It became the place where you could store your primary data and enrich it with AI-powered insights all in one spot.
And that just brings us right back to where we started, doesn't it? By building vector capabilities right into its core, PostgreSQL made a powerful strategic statement. It basically said, you don't need to split up your architecture to innovate. You can build the future on the foundation you already know and trust.
And that's really the big takeaway here. For decades, PostgreSQL has just consistently adapted, evolved, and risen to the occasion. Version 16 was maybe its boldest move yet, and it proved that even a veteran database can learn some incredible new tricks and, by doing so, keep rewriting the playbook for everybody else.